future stars of NASCAR are ready to tackle this challenging circuit like Julia Landauer. Stafford winner Noah Gragson. Tucson winner Ryan Partridge is ready. And NASCAR Sprint Cup Series standout Chase Elliott is here to battle at Sonoma. Chevy's Fresh Mex 200, the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West, is ready to battle at Sonoma Raceway in Sonoma County. Hi, everybody. I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside Parker Kligerman and Heather DeBoe. We'll be covering. And then Chase Elliott is here as well, looking for some extra laps.
Yeah, and this is important for him. Really, when you look with the Rookie of the Year battle he's up against of Ryan Blaney, he needs to come out here and get these extra laps on a road course.
He's done a little racing in the K&N cars, including this stop at Iowa Speedway back in May of 2012. Got himself to victory lane.
It's wins like that, Ralph, that got him to being in the Sprint Cup Series.
Well, let's meet Chase Elliott. He's standing by with Heather DeBoe.
Making a return to the K&N Series is Sprint Cup Series rookie Chase Elliott. Chase, you got your start in the K&N Series. Your first career victory came at Iowa back in 2012. Talk a little bit about what that win meant to you and how the K&N Series has helped you with your racing career.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a while. It's been a few years since I've drove these cars. It was fun to be back. I appreciate NAPA being on board and supporting us out here. I haven't ran I guess just a couple West races, so cool to be back in the West Series as opposed to running most of the East races. But it's been a fun weekend. Hopefully this race helps. I mean, the main goal is to try to get some laps for tomorrow and hopefully learn something is the biggest thing. So I'm excited. Hopefully we can keep it in one piece and try to be the one that counts.
Now, adding to that, obviously you're getting more seat time than the other drivers in the field. What has been your biggest takeaway so far?
We've definitely had our struggles over on the Cup side, just trying to, piece together laps and find just small things here and there. We've been off half second, even sometimes more than a second at times this weekend on the Cup side. So, there's 11 turns, so just trying to get just a little bit in every turn can equate to a lot of time. So just recognizing that in your head and realizing that it's all got to flow, it's all got to be in nice motion, just getting a good rhythm. So hopefully today helps that rhythm get a little better for tomorrow, and we'll give it our best shot.
Thank you, Chase. Good luck today.
Thanks.
That's Chase Elliott looking to learn a little something to add to his Sprint Cup Series run here later this weekend at Sonoma Raceway.
Parker, what do you think the most important thing is for him to focus when they get into turn number 2?
I've actually raced at Buttonwell before, and it does have some very similar characteristics to Sonoma in terms of some of the technical aspects and those elevation changes. So that was a good place to test.
Here's a look at that starting lineup with Chase Elliott and Ryan Partridge leading him into the hills.
Yeah, you've got Kris Eggleston all the way back here in row 6 right now. Not the best qualifying that you wanted to see.
Jim Engelbright, many laps out here on the West Coast. He's going to start on the outside of row number 6 as we look back through the rest of the field. And longtime competitor out here on the West Coast, Jack Sellers, in his number 15 in row 15. Here they come out onto the front straightaway. Green flag, and we're racing here. Sonoma already. We've got cars scattering on the front straightaway into the wall, and we're going to clog it up right here at the start-finish line. Oh, my.
Oh, man, that is not what you wanted to see from Todd Gillen and Kris Eggleston, both involved here, your points leader and second in points. Wow, disaster here on the front stretch. It looks like something happened to Todd Gillen's car. He got picked up, either he missed a shift or something, and got spun around, and the field just piled in.
See, Rich DeLong in the 84 was involved. All the cars at the very front of the field got away clean, but Parker, man, it was about row 3 where it started to get crazy.
Yeah, as I said, I saw Todd Gillen's car get launched up from the rear. I believe something had to have happened where he either missed a shift or the car died on him. I don't know what it was, because when he went up in the air or the cars in front of him checked up, he suddenly got turned around, and then there was nowhere to go between these two tight walls on this front stretch for the rest of the field.
Gilliland is the NAPA Auto Parts number 16, sitting sideways on the front straightaway. Well, it was a rough start here at the Chevy's Fresh Mex 200. Big accident on the front straightaway. Let's see how we do this time as we come rolling to the green flag. Here we go.
Far cleaner start, but a big jump by Ryan Partridge over Chase Elliott there. Beat him to the line and down over into 1.
And Chase Elliott working the backside of Partridge here. I think right now he's probably just comfortable to sit back there and, as we said, learn and get laps in here and then make the move when it comes open, like right here.
Yeah, there wasn't much he was going to do to just sit behind Partridge there and ride. I think he wants to take the lead. He does have the fastest race car here. And sometimes you can say, okay, well, why did he sit behind him for a couple laps? Well, what happens is a lot of times on a road course, you just need to kind of find your bearings, especially for Chase Elliott, who's coming here for the first time. And once you realize that sometimes it's better to be tidy with your race car than almost to try and overdrive it, you start to find a little bit more speed. That's what Chase did, and now he's driving away from Partridge. Got more battles back here. Julie Landauer looking again on the inside of Riley Herbst. The 06 there gets passed by Riley Herbst. Wow, good move.
There's a lot of spots on this track where you're really sliding this race car too, and it's really in some of the fastest sections like turn 10, the last section of the S's as they come back down off the hill.
Yeah, and you'll be in third gear and just balancing the car on that left rear because it's really unsettled that in the car, trying to just save those brakes over the long run here, and sometimes you just overcooked a little bit and lost the rear.
She's got the curb records. Toyota headed again. Oh, and a race leader with a big bobble. Gregson, huge bobble, and Chase Elliott sees the door swing wide open. Gregson tries to cut back. Contact, and Elliott pulls away with the lead.
You can't do that. You can't give someone so experienced as Chase and as talented as him an opportunity like that. Noah had to stay tight. If he just stayed in front of Chase, he had a better chance here to continue to block, continue to hold him off in turn 7 and turn 11, but not to be. He slid it there down in turn 4. He's sliding through turn 10. He needs to tidy it up to make another run here at Chase.
20-year-old Chase Elliott being chased by 17-year-old Noah Gregson.
This will be a big learning experience for Noah here, to know that when he was leading this race, the things he was doing to lead this race, when he wasn't sliding the car, he wasn't spinning those rear tires, that's where the speed was. And now as Chase drives away, he's going to get taking notes. He was understanding and sizing up his competition, and therefore when it came time to strike, he had the race car to do it. He's had the tire and the grip in the tires to make it happen, and sure enough, he got it done. He maybe intimidated Noah Gregson there a little bit, got the pass done easier than it maybe should have been, and here we come to the white flag for Chase Elliott.
One more lap around the wine country here today for Chase Elliott. That's Jesse Iwuji in the 36 in front of him. See if the lap traffic causes any issues. This is turn 3, and then at the top of the hill they call that 3A right here, and he gets around Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse was very nice there. Let him go. Good thing to get out of the way of the leader here on the last lap. Let this race be settled amongst themselves. Noah hasn't dropped back as far as I thought he would, but he definitely hasn't had the pace to keep here of Chase. Chase is just on a rail in these last couple laps.
So Parker, obviously he wanted to learn a lot about what he needed to know for this circuit when it comes to racing on Sunday. A win is great. What do you think about the learning curve as well today?
Well, he won't have to go 64 laps on a set of tires, I can tell you that. But one thing he definitely could have learned is definitely restarting maybe on older tires can teach you about being able to keep those tires clean, just like you can experience in the Sprint Cup Series. And then also, I think for him, places he passed, places he found ways to gain speed on the other drivers as he made those passes. The way he protected that left rear tire, that's all going to play into his hands come the Sprint Cup race. A really very, very calculating win for Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott, school was in session and he got an A. Chase Elliott takes the win here at Sonoma Raceway.
Very good fight put up by Noah Gregson, Grayson Raz, and Ryan Partridge, but I feel like they all have a bit to learn here from a guy who's proving to be a spectacular Sprint Cup rookie this season.
Chase Elliott with a big victory in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West. We'll talk to him. K&N Pro Series Racing on NBCSN is brought to you by K&N high-flow air filters and air intake systems, because everyone loves that fast car smell. Well, Chase Elliott has done something his dad, Bill, never did. That's win here at Sonoma Raceway. He's in victory lane, and Heather DeBow is there.
Chase Elliott getting his second win here in the K&N Series. First win in the West. Chase, that was a wild start to the race. A lot of carnage throughout, but you made it through. Talk about your run and how you were able to save your equipment so well.
I just had a really, really good car. I appreciate everybody from HScott and NAPA for coming on board for this race and letting us get some extra laps for tomorrow. Obviously, in our 3M Cup car tomorrow, so good to have NAPA on board somehow. Appreciate them being here, and like I said, just a fast car. Really appreciate all these guys. Long haul from North Carolina, so appreciate them coming and giving us a good chance.
Now, it looked like the 7 may have made a little bit of a mistake there, and you capitalized on that. Talk about that pass.
Yeah, I'm not real sure. He might have got over the rumble strip a little hard. The lap before kind of got in our way a little bit, but it was a fun race. I did a good job, and I'm glad it worked out.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's Chase Elliott. They're getting the win. He is the 4th Cup driver to win this race in the last 6 years.
Back to finish 11th.
You see Todd Gillen there in 24th, Chris Eggleston in 26th. Not the day they were looking for. David Mayhew, who won here last year, 30th this year.
Well, let's hear from our second-place finisher.
Here with our second-place finisher, Noah Gregson. I believe you led the most laps, and there at the end, you almost had it. Looks like you maybe made a slight mistake. Talk about your run today.
Yeah, unbelievable day here, Sonoma Raceway, and came home second, but nothing to hang our heads on. I mean, going up against Chase Elliott in the Cup Series, it's really cool and a big honor to be able to race here at Sonoma Raceway against Chase Elliott, and to come home second, it's an unbelievable feeling. We didn't have the car to beat there at the end. The 24 was pretty good all weekend, but man, I just had so much fun out there and carry on the momentum to next race.
Well, Parker, a great day in the hills of Sonoma.
Very competitive race. A lot of lead changes amongst a lot of good young drivers, but the young driver, the most experienced in driving in the Sprint Cup Series, Chase Elliott, came out on top.
And we shook up the point standings, which will be fun as we move on to the next round, which you'll see here on NBCSN. For Parker Kligerman and Heather DeVoe, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long from Sonoma Raceway. Congratulations to Chase Elliott on his win here in Sonoma.
Mike, drivers always have to adapt when we go from the ovals to the road courses, but when the spotters got here on Friday, they had to adapt their strategy for the weekend. Typically 2 spotters here, one up on the spotter stand where you were, then also one down on top of the building down by 10 and 11. But due to the new billboard, it blocked the view, so Carl Edwards' team, Dave Rogers, they added a 3rd spotter on top of the media center, just trying to take all the different sections into perspective to keep their drivers safe. Right now, the car a little on the tight side.
Well, now the second spotters have found some step ladders or scaffolding or something to get them a better view up above that new video board.
You know, guys, seeing what's going on around you is so important here. Look at all the work these guys are doing, downshifting, braking. You want all the eyes you can get. Chase Elliott decided he needed his dad up there helping him. That's Bill Elliott, that is spotting for Chase down in one of the corners that the primary spotter can't see. Ty Norris alongside there. A lot of spotters all over this big racetrack.
Michael, if Bill's like he normally is, Chase will be saying, "Dad, are you there?"
Bill's not going to say much unless he has to.
That's Bill right there.
Yep. And there's Chase coming out of turn 4, headed for 7.
Hey, we got an in-car today in that 24 car. Nice deal. There goes
Jimmy Johnson going by with fresh tires.
24, there goes his buddy. There goes his teammate.
That's Eddie DeHaan, the regular spotter up on the hill.
You know, I like this approach. Chase has just been solid and steady. You know, he's not going off course, not getting the car out of shape, not missing shifts. He's doing a nice job just being steady, learning.
He's one of 5 making their first Sonoma start today. They just passed that drag strip building where Bill is standing, and he won the K&N Pro Series race yesterday from the pole.
Boy, he did. He won it, too. Nice job.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Chase Elliott kicked off the 2016 season with a win right here in Daytona. It's a day that he calls special. Well, since then, the 88 team has gone to work to make this car even better, and they think they found more raw speed. Chase admits they struggled a bit in qualifying, but he said the car felt really good in practice, and he thinks it will draft well tonight, which is really all that matters. Chase Elliott starts 15th. Dave Burns?
So they're going to jockey very aggressively for position before the competition yellow.
And Elliott's out.
Oh, the 6 of Darrell Wallace Jr. is going to go around. He catches the 48. The big one happens in front. 2 of Austin Dillon is collected. 3 of Ty Dillon gets through.
Definitely left front damage.
Brennan Poole involved in the 48. You see the 19 part. Daniel Suarez. A win already this season. Marks, take a look at what happens.
It all starts right here with Darrell Wallace Jr. and Brennan Poole. You see trying to help the 48, trying to help the 6, but as the 6 moves left to right with contact with the bumper, it spins it out. Heavy contact between the 42 and the 2. The 2 gets airborne, but safety comes back on the tires.
And that is why NASCAR does not want these guys locking bumpers. It's why they don't want pushing. And again, it creates this rule that they have to.
Wallace Jr., one of the early cautions he was involved in. Up to second, Logano, the leader, and now Ty Dillon on the outside of the 1. Elliott Sadler.
That outside line started working because the inside line, you can see the cars getting up the racetrack. The 6 car could not handle the bottom. It started slowing everything down, and that's why the outside worked. Mike?
You know, as we watch Joey Logano, you have to recognize that restrictor plate racing has certainly become one of his strongest. Whoa, a little bit of contact there, almost as he ran the 88 car down the racetrack, and it looks like he's getting sucked back. This is not what he had planned. He had been listening to Tab Boyd, his spotter, the whole time, tried to play the block, and it obviously had an adverse effect as he falls back in traffic.
Big mistake right there, Mike Massaro. Big mistake by Joey Logano, trying to come back down and block, but there was too much momentum for Chase Elliott.
Yeah, he thought he had him cleared. He thought he could run down the racetrack and get in front of him, but he was so far to the inside, he did not have a good view of it. So everybody did a great job of not having a wreck right there. You have to block. You have to try to block. He mistimed it. He didn't judge it correctly. But if you don't try to block in this race, you will not win it.
Chase Elliott, we mentioned, wanting to complete the sweep at Daytona.
So here's a replay. Joey Logano's committed to the top, makes a late move to block the bottom right here and forces Chase Elliott below the double yellow line. Now that is an out of bounds line. NASCAR's reviewing this. In my opinion, Chase Elliott was there. He was inside the 22. He had no choice. He was forced below the double yellow line. I don't see that as a penalty. NASCAR will review it. They'll have to make a ruling. But that's what it's very difficult when that subjectivity comes into these races. But it looked to me like the 22 forced the 88 below the line.
No question he was forced below the line, and no question he advanced his position below the yellow line. So it puts NASCAR in a difficult spot, but without a doubt he was forced there.
Joey Logano all over the back bumper of Ty Dillon.
And we've heard from NASCAR, they agreed that the 22 forced the 88 below the yellow line. The penalty for the 22 is he lost the spots. There's no extenuating circumstances for him, but the 88's pass was clean.
That's a Chase Elliott out in front. Elliott won this race in February. Kelly, what's happening with Chase?
Well, Chase started 15th, but felt much better about the car that he'd have here for the race. He said, I think it's strong enough to make a lane move, and that's really what matters. But this hasn't been a faultless race for Chase. They've had a couple of miscues on pit road, a couple of slow stops. They've had to change up their strategy a bit. Chase even kind of kicking himself, saying, I got to get my act together back down here on pit road. Well, he's done it, and now he is in contention to complete the sweep of Daytona, which would be quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, and Kelly, we've seen Chase Elliott take the blame, say, I've got to get better, I've got to do better. We've also seen him find a way to the front of these races. You know, he does such a good job of self-analyzing. People think it's self-doubt. It's not self-doubt. It's analyzing, learning how to be better. He expresses it, but when the chips are down, he can deliver. There is no doubt about it.
2014, Chase Elliott, the champion in an Xfinity Series. Now he's racing in the Cup Series as we continue NASCAR nonstop. Giving a shove to Eric Almirola, and into the wall goes David. David Reagan slamming into the wall.
Behind you, no caution yet. Outside.
Darrell Wallace Jr. quick across the inside wall. The caution is not. Look at the wreck that happened behind them. David Reagan hard into the wall. And quite a few cars caught up after the fact.
Oh, that's a big impact. Now I understand why NASCAR wanted to roll safety personnel. That's a big impact. Car essentially went underneath another car, another impact from behind. So.
Everybody ready, set, go. Rev it up and let's roll. There's a party in the fast lane. Got my hands on the wheel and I'm flying. Heartbeat loud as the thunder rolls. Riding in on the stampede of lightning. I'm bringing back the sunshine. Bringing back the sunshine. Baby, it's about time. Oh, bring it back. Oh, yeah.
This is it, America's fastest 4th of July party. Welcome to NASCAR on NBC. Tonight from Daytona International Speedway, it's the Coke Zero 400, powered by Coca-Cola.
He wins his restrictor plate races, and without a lock in the chase, he needs a win. And what will that win do? Time with the Intimidator, his father, Dale Earnhardt Sr.
That would be a huge win if he could be able to do what his dad has done at this racetrack. For more of the storylines tonight, let's go to pit road. We start with Kelly Stavist. Continuing to cycle through the second wave now on pit road.
Rick, the biggest problem for Chase Elliott, he said the car just will not get off the splitter. They've been really struggling with that. Despite that, he's run up into the top 5 and having a very nice run. So what they did is add some packers to the front to get that splitter off the ground a little bit for the 24 car, Dave.
Nationwide. Let's start with Mike Massaro.
The two team has avoided the scare they had earlier with the water temperatures. The debris is completely removed. We've talked about Brad Keselowski being proficient at restrictor plate racing. 4 wins, and we've got trouble behind him, Rick.
Around they go.
Yeah, stay down, go up.
It looked like it was Eric Almirola that was the first to go sideways and then collecting numerous cars behind him. May have been the one of Jamie McMurray. It was a light blue car. Chase Elliott. That Sun Energy 1 caught up the window net down for him. Paul Menard in the 27. Jamie McMurray trying to get it going the right direction. Kevin Harvick is involved. The 44 of Brian Scott. And already we're seeing Chase Elliott climb out of that car. The big one happening. So close, running around this racetrack. The 7 also, Regan Smith. So much damage to the back end of the 7 of Smith. Brian Scott climbing out of the Shore Lodge 44. Jamie McMurray stuck on the banking. Take another look. It was McMurray in the 1.
See McMurray and Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy comes up, and then McMurray actually comes down and gets onto the left front. It's on from there. I mean, we talked about it earlier. As soon as somebody makes a mistake and you're in this big pack of cars, you're going to take a lot of people with you. It's just how it happens. Some of these cars riding around the back actually got in the wreck as well. So one mistake by a driver, a mistake by 2 drivers, and this is what happens. It's not just those 2.
And a bump there by the 48. The back bumper of Jamie McMurray. 78 of Martin Truex Jr. caught up. Danica Patrick also. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88. Brian Scott up on the hood of the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Chris Buescher, 23-year-old out of Prosper, Texas, was involved. Also, that
on board here with Dale Earnhardt Jr. You hear him out of the gas.
Check it up.
Just nowhere to go. He drives through the accident, but a lot of damage to the nose of the 88 car.
all 4 Hendrick cars involved. Casey Kane as well. A lot of damage to the 48, the 78.
And the frustration of speedway racing is this is it. 2 drivers, Jimmy Johnson and Jamie McMurray, get into one another. Just mistakes. And their mistakes are going to cause a poor night for 15,
half the
16,
field.
17 cars. Yeah.
We're at almost 19 cars that I've counted.
And look at Kevin Harvick, how far underneath Brian Scott he is. The rear tires are on the roof of the 4 car.
Matt DiBenedetto in the 83 is up underneath the 4. And the sparks fly. So much sheet metal.
Kevin Harvick, you mentioned the 44. You hear him out of the gas, on the brakes. Absolutely nowhere to go. You see his view, a car on his windshield.
All right.
And that's how fast it happens.
Look at the 34, how fast he's coming in there. 31.
Yep, 31 also.
Ryan Newman, he gets into the back of Greg Biffle. I mean, all these cars have significant damage. The 16 of Biffle, of all the cars that got hit significantly, he probably has the least amount of damage if it didn't damage the fuel cell.
20 of Kenseth.
A lot of big names in this wreck. See Danica in it?
It's been released from the infield care center. Are you okay? And what were the first words your spotter told you and what you tried to do?
Yeah, just once you see everybody start checking up, obviously you can't really see much when you're in that top lane like that. So you just kind of try to slow down and hope that there's some way to get out. Unfortunately, we were getting in the corner. Obviously, everything is going to go straight at that point. So I hate it. I mean, I had such a good car tonight. I feel like by far the best ever plate car I've ever had, either Daytona or Talladega. So really proud of that. We'll try to get our stuff ready to go Talladega.
What made the car so good tonight, Chase?
I really don't know. I think we kind of took what we had here in February, tried to rethink some of the things we had going on. We made our car drive a lot better tonight. Obviously, the cool temperatures, I think, were helping that. But regardless, I appreciate Sunridge. You want to be on the car this weekend. Kenny was down here. Wish we could have had a good run for him, but we'll try to go get him in Kentucky.
Car drove well, guys, but you can't avoid all that.
Chase, one of 19 cars involved.
I say we got very unorganized right there. The 19 of Carl Edwards was not able to stay with the 13. That separated them, but now they're getting a little run back because they've been able to get organized back up.
Ladies and gentlemen, Thursday night, 5 members of the law enforcement community in Dallas, Texas tragically lost their lives. Please join us in a moment of silence to recognize and honor those victims and their families. Thank you.
Going on the A-posts of all the cars tonight, showing respect and thinking about the fallen officers from Dallas.
This morning to get the backup car ready. They put in a ton of work to get it ready for this afternoon. But as Tony Gibson told me, we have history on this car. We ran it at Charlotte. We ran it at Kansas. We know his tendencies. It's fast, and it can get to the front. Kelly?
Chase Elliott is making his first Cup start here at Kentucky, and if you ask around the garage, he is definitely one to watch out for. His crew chief, Alan Gustafson, told me they do have a good balance in the car, but like everyone else, there are just too many uncertainties with this new track. One thing he is certain of, he would love to get the win here tonight. It would be a first in Kentucky for Hendrick Motorsports. Dave?
Joey Logano could have a leg up on the field. He won the most recent race where the rules were configured the way.
Only Richard Petty has been able to win on his 600th start. We'll see if Tony Stewart can add his name to that list. On all of the A-posts of these cars tonight, they're showing the respect to the fallen police officers in Dallas. They have a decal on the A-post as they go 2 by 2, getting ready to race in the Bluegrass State. Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, we're underway.
Maybe maybe he's the first to do it. If he'll commit to that strategy and continue to take 2 tires, maybe he can gain that track position back. As I just mentioned, 181 to go, and they're already considering how they're going to pit strategy to the finish.
5 cautions, 23 caution laps already. At this point in the race, the most cautions that we have seen at Kentucky Speedway in the previous 5 races. Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr. Harvick on the outside, race leader as they go through the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. Great restart for Martin Truex Jr. Can he get out in front? Loses the air, and Kevin Harvick goes right by.
Rewind.
Oh, and around goes the 21 of Ryan Blaney. Chase Elliott as well. The 2 youngest on the racetrack are around.
I saw it 3 wide. I'm wondering how in the world is that going to work? And it didn't.
Chase Elliott actually looked like his car was relatively in control. The 21 lost control of his car first and had no choice as he went up the racetrack and caught barely in the left rear of the 24, sending him around as well.
The track's just not wide enough for 3 wide. Everybody's trying to fight to get to the bottom, get as low as you can. Even if you're on the outside or in the middle, you want to get as low on the racetrack as you can. And there's contact early getting into the corner, and then they're just all in each other and out of control.
Both of these young men are Chase grid contenders just above the yellow line. These points are going to start adding up that they lose.
These restarts are so crazy. We've talked about it. You have to be aggressive. You have to make things happen. And this all started because everybody's trying to make something happen. 78 gets pulled around by the 4 car, slows everybody up. Now we're 3 wide going into the corner. Somebody's got to make a decision right here. Do I want to be 3 wide? 21 gets loose, gets into the side of the 24. Both of them have long nights.
That 21 was right in the middle of the 3 wide. And we have seen Jimmy Johnson, a 6-time champion, be in that position. The same thing happens. It gets loose and up the racetrack he goes. This time he collects the 24 of Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott, while his team, the 24 crew, hard at work trying to make repairs, I assume, to try to get you back out here. But Chase, take me through what happened. Did you realize that you guys were going 3 wide?
Yeah, kind of at the last second, I heard him say 3, and I really didn't know how that was going to work. And there's really not enough room. I felt like I was about at the top of the gray, or the bottom of the gray, about as at the top of the black as I could be without getting up in the mess. So, I tried to give as much room as possible. But hey, that's racing, I guess, and we'll try to go get him next week. Good news is we had another fast NAPA Chevy. Bad news is that's 3 bad weeks in a row. So. For us, we just got to come back and get the job done, bottom line. So we'll try again next week.
We just saw another big wreck that took out a lot of more cars. So how important is it for you guys to try to make the repairs and get back out?
Well, it's definitely important. It's not as important as winning. So that's the most important thing at this point for us. And that's our goal. Just because we had a bad night tonight doesn't mean our goals changed. So we'll try to get it next week.
Okay, thank you, Chase. Mike?
The leading car spoiler, making it very loose. You see right here in this wreck, as Paul Menard in the 27 closes in on the back of the 21, it lifts that air off the deck lid of the 21. The 21 instantly gets loose up into the 24, Jeff.
Yeah, that's right. The 21 was loose, so he couldn't turn. So in that overhead shot, we saw the 24 coming down and getting into the 21. But part of the reason that happened is because as you're loose, you can't turn the wheel. If you turn the wheel to the left and make the corner, you're gonna spin out. So Ryan couldn't turn the wheel, and that's what all that happened. It was all about 3 wide, lack of downforce, and lack of grip.
That's a great visual. A reminder, NASCAR Heat Evolution is released on September 13th. Pre-orders are available online now at NASCARHeat.com. Getting ready for another restart. 3 restarts since we've had a clean one, and 8 cars have been. Boyer was running 26th when he went around.
Your rights are up, man.